Rob Butler.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. And like all members across the House, I start by congratulating my right honourable friend, the member for Halton Price and Howden, on securing this very important debate. Madam Deputy Speaker, one of the key priorities in my campaign to be elected to this place in 2019 was to give children in the Aylesbury constituency a brilliant start in life. And that means all children, including and especially those with special educational needs and disabilities. And I'm pleased to say that there are several specialist SEND schools in my constituency. I've had the privilege of visiting many of them, including Pebblebrook and Booker Park, Chiltern Way Academy and the Independent Pace Centre. The work that they do is awe-inspiring, and I pay tribute to the staff in them all who constantly strive to give the children they care for the best possible opportunities and experiences. Too often, though, the families of the children with SEND feel that they are left to fight a ferociously complicated system to get their child into those schools and to get them the support they need. Now, thankfully, locally, they have support from people in a similar position, including from the GRASP group, which is run by volunteers in Buckinghamshire. But they have told me at length of their concerns about delays in assessments, complexity in form filling, and then the very long waits for education and healthcare plans, the HCPs, about which we've heard so much this afternoon. Now, the team at Buckinghamshire Council and I have discussed these concerns to try to find ways to help. I know they are absolutely determined to do so, but it is no surprise that the Council has highlighted that funding is a major challenge. As we've heard, the cost of SEND education can be exceptionally high, and it is not unusual for that to run to hundreds of thousands of pounds a year for residential placements for children with the most complex and serious needs. Now, the SEND Green Paper and the SEND and AP Improvement Plan published in March last year made very clear the need to update the funding model. The government is not ignorant of this at all, and I'm really pleased with the direction of travel that it's taken. I think we have an excellent minister to drive that forward in the months ahead. I'm pleased that there is £10 billion in high needs funding allocated for this coming financial year, representing a cash terms increase of 12%. And it should be stressed, as it has been, that high needs block funding has nearly doubled in cash terms since 2013 to 14. It does demonstrate that this government is committed to helping SEND pupils and their families. However, Buckinghamshire Council fares very poorly compared with many other local authorities with much lower allocations of funding. And the cost to all local authorities for providing support for SEND pupils is increasing dramatically, both because of the number of cases and the degree of complexity of need. So locally, since 2016, there's been an increase of 101% in requests for EHCPs. Since 2020, unit costs for children's placement have increased by 30%. As a result, Bucks Council is looking at bringing some provision in-house to try to contain some of those costs, but that can't happen overnight. And in the meantime, it must try to find the extra money. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, members across this House will know that I have a profound interest in youth justice. And having spent many years as a youth magistrate and member of the Youth Justice Board, I have always been struck by the disproportionate number of young people in the criminal justice system with SEND. According to data published in 2022 by the Department for Education and the Ministry of Justice, 80% of children who were cautioned or sentenced for an offence were recorded as having special educational needs at some stage. 80%. That is an appalling statistic. It cannot be morally right that so many children with SEND wind up on the wrong side of the law and all too often behind bars. We must do more to give children with SEND the appropriate education and training so they have the same potential to live law-abiding lives as their peers, and we must ensure that provision for those who do unfortunately end up in the youth justice system is properly tailored and funding. Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to end on a positive note. Many members of this House run an annual competition for local school children to design their Christmas cards. For the past 2 years, I've done something slightly differently and gone out to the local SEND schools, one each year, to ask them to produce the design for my card. And the reason is very simple. All too often, children with special educational needs are airbrushed out or considered incapable of achieving the same as their peers. I take a different view. I want local children with special needs to be celebrated for what they achieve, to be visible. I want them to give them a showcase in the local community. The simple act of getting them to design my Christmas card has enabled me to do that, and I particularly like to thank the children at Booker Park School who designed my 2023 card, and the children from Chiltern Way Academy who did it in 2022. Both cards had excellent pictures that carried real meaning. This emphasises that there is potential in every child, and we need to approach children with special educational needs and disabilities with a spirit of optimism and positivity.
Shadow Minister.